Hey, it's Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it is Wednesday. It's August 28th. This will be our chart lesson for today. And really, we had an uptrend for the most part today. Um, you really almost had to play this as a range, though. Oops, I didn't mean to move that. Put that back. As you can see early on, it looked like a range, and this looked like your midline here. Let me go ahead and, well, it is a dot. But you got two equal quadrants here. Must got that in the wrong place. And you can see that as two equal. And so once we broke higher here, your first target's going to be another equal distance. And you can see that's exactly where we got to. We ended up pushing a little above that and then turned back down. Now we're back inside this upper quadrant here. But this was a range day early on. And once you break out of here, there's two different ways you look for your measured move. One is an equal distance. I'd measure half of this, and I'd measure all of this in case we kept going, but I'd also measure this first leg as so, and then I'd look for a measured move. And that put us a little higher, and you see we didn't get that. So, and you really couldn't get a good trend line going here either. If you found it off this top and drug it down, it ended up fitting, but it never really got confirmed. It didn't really help you, in other words. So, and we didn't quite get there either. So this turned out to be the way to go, playing this as a range. And you had to be real careful getting long right in these highs. But then when it acted as support here, and then look for that equal distance up, and if we'd have kept on going, I'd have looked for another one like so. So even though this was an uptrend really almost from the get-go, and a pretty good one at that, you still almost had to play it as a range. You still had to use your range to find most of these entries, and your support and resistance, and not your trend lines. Of course, there's an early trend line here, and there's some shorter term trend lines in here too that you could have traded. But anyway, that's how I played it. If you saw something different, you might have got some other trend line here. It didn't really help you a whole lot though. So let me back out. We'll talk about the trades, and we'll wrap it up. 7 o'clock came right in here somewhere dropping down. And somebody asked me that, I think, question on YouTube. Rather than try to answer that, I just figured I'd answer it in the video. Yes, I start trading around 7 o'clock every day. So I do start trading before the 8:30 open. I wouldn't trade much before 7 a.m. And that's Central Standard Time I'm on. So anything much before that, it's a little slow. It's a little iffy. By 7 o'clock, though, you pretty much prices are moving fairly normally, and they've picked up a little bit. And, you can trade it safely, from about 7 o'clock on. And occasionally you might could get in there a little earlier, but that's when I've been starting. I've been doing that for years, and so 7 o'clock is kind of my start time for trading. Anything sooner than that, and I'm not crazy about it. So, and same with the afternoon. 2 o'clock is pretty much my end time. Anything after 2 o'clock here, I'm pretty much going to leave it alone. You can see we don't have a lot of volume after that. Didn't have much movement. It doesn't mean that occasionally you don't see some big nice moves after 2 o'clock, but I'm not going. If I'm managing a runner, I might trade that. But outside of that, I'm not going to mess with anything after 2 o'clock very much. Maybe if it's right in the first 10 or 15 minutes and I see a really good setup, if I'm still trading, but rarely am I ever trading that late in the day. I'm usually done well before noon, or try to be anyway. So anyway, let's back out. Again, you can see that trend working up there. It's kind of a spike and almost channel, but really what you have here is you're just in a range. You got your resistance here, and then you finally break through. You come back and test it, and you run up another measured move, and then you're kind of just chopping around with an upward bias. Though you're not getting a lot of selling here. and that took you into the 2 o'clock hour for the most part. So that would have been a perfect target to reach, and you exit up there, and you got a couple other nice trades here in the afternoon as well. So, but let me back out. We'll talk about the trades, and we'll wrap up the day. Just a heads up too. This coming Monday is Memorial Day, so it'll be a long weekend. You'll get Saturday, you'll get Saturday, Sunday, and Monday this year, or this week, or next week. I should guess I should say, because Monday will be a holiday, so Memorial Day. And I may even take off the whole day Friday. I'm not sure yet. If I come in, I will. Even if I come in, it'll probably just be for a couple of hours. So if I come in and trade, I will definitely do a mid-morning chart. But if you don't see a mid-morning chart, just know that I went ahead and took off the entire day. But I'll make a decision between now and then, and probably let you know for sure tomorrow. So anyway, let's talk about the trades. Again, 7 o'clock came in here. We had a close outside, and this is your signal bar, and I don't see anything I like there, and you kind of drop down, and we got a little reversal pattern, but it was still all below the EMA, so I'm not crazy about entering there. But when it pushed back through and tried to turn down, really you could count this as a new low right here, double bottom. So a first entry, and you move up in a second entry when it failed. So you may take that one and go long. There's a little bit of congestion there. It's not a perfect setup. Really, your reversal was down here, and it's too early. It's not a perfect reversal pattern. So you may take that one. It's a nice trade. Turns out great, but it doesn't set up too well. And of course, you do get your a couple of closes outside. You get a close outside right here, really, and 2 legs up, and then you get a lower high and a big bearish bar. I like going short there. And this thing just kind of takes on off. It was tempting to enter right here. I think it actually broke lower first and then turned up. So you probably would have got stopped out if you entered there. Once this bar formed, I don't think I would enter under that one, especially when this next one was an inside bar, and you got 3. You got a couple of matching lows there, basically. And then actually you tick lower, one more tick. But by that time you could see that the trend line was in play, but you just didn't really get a good setup. Your second entry was below these 2 matching lows, and I don't think you want to take that. There is a hidden second entry right here, but you would have got stopped out if you took that trade. So it's just not a very good setup there. You might have looked at this as a failed second entry long, but you've got 2 measured legs down already. You're not back to the EMA or the trend line. You finally come back here and notice you got a new low, a first entry, and then a second entry right there. And that's your first real close outside that trend line. You got plenty of room, so I like that one. It's not a perfect signal bar, so I did make it green, but it's still a relatively bearish bar right there. And then you turn around and you make a new low, and notice how you have that double bottom. You drop below there. You got your break here, a new low, and you actually had a reversal right there, but there's just a little bit of resistance right there. I'm not crazy about, but when it pushed up and came back again and really gave you another low right there, it bounces where you really didn't know where your trend line was here because it wasn't confirmed till up here. But I still like this one. This is really 2 legs up that fail, and you got a little 2-legged correction in the middle. This one is real close. You could argue for this to be green because there's still some resistance across there. But when you try to go lower that many times and you're making higher lows every time, you're probably going to break through. And if you do break through, it's probably going to shoot up like that because it's going to run people out, all the shorts out. And the people that were getting short here are going to get fooled and get trapped and have to jump out as well. But it does come back and confirm the trend line here. Normally I'd want to see a second entry, but you're not going to have enough room here to get many second entries, and it is right off the key entry point. It is a breakout pullback long. It is looking like a range day, so we're probably headed to the other side. So you may take that one. The rest of these, you're just too far away from the EMA for too long. There is a second entry long right there. There's 2 legs back. You still made a little higher high than that one, but that's still 2 legs back to the key entry point, but not a very good signal bar. Comes back here and makes a little higher low, and we're still not back to the highs yet. So that one's tempting. But I'm not, it's just, I'm not going to mark it because you just been away from the EMA too long. It's risky. Again, you could argue for it to be green, but you do have a 2-bar matching high there. It kind of, it actually broke lower than turned and closed up here on the very high. The fact that it couldn't push through, that would give me some concern. So, but then now you got your break. You got a new high. You just turned down off the previous high, so that's strong resistance right there, and you get a reversal pattern right here. So I like entering. It didn't go very far. It went far enough to give you your scalp, but that's it. You just have to have room to get out before you get to the low there, and if you do, I'd take that trade every time because you would, if it's going to be a range day, we're probably headed lower, but unfortunately it reversed and you get a reversal pattern right here. I still wasn't sold on the reversal pattern. But when it tried to go lower again right here, I'd definitely enter there on that second entry. But this one is close enough. It is a reversal pattern. Notice that low, first entry, second entry. Generally, I'd want to count that as your first move. So your true failed second entry wouldn't be up till up here, and that's not a very good setup. But you may take this trade right here. It's right on the borderline. I marked it blue because there's still a lot of room, and it probably is going to trap people. Notice how it ran up and then came back down, and it looked like it was going to be a trap, and it never broke lower. And when it broke above that bar, I'd definitely jump in if I wasn't already in here, because this thing may go ahead and make another leg up, which it does. Almost makes another leg up, but you still have to be concerned with this resistance that's been holding for quite a while now. This is a good example of why you like to wait on a lower high, because you had a little tick higher there. You think this is probably going to turn back down, and guess what? It traps people and turns up, and you can see how that rocketed up, that they trapped a bunch of people there. I'm not going to take that trap into that strong resistance. It is somewhat of a reversal pattern too, because this is a double bottom, but I'm not going to take that right into those overnight highs. It's just not worth it. I'm not even going to mark it green. But we run up here, and again, you want to wait on a lower high. You really don't have a close outside till here, and your lower high is right here, and but this is really your signal bar, so that's really your lower high. Not a very good setup. You get what looks like a failed second entry long right here, but look at all that overlap and doji's in there and right back, and this has been your support resistance. You're not back through it yet. I'd wait, because you may get trapped, and sure enough, it turns back up, pulls back, makes a little breakout pullback and a reversal pattern. Notice that new low, first entry, second entry. That's the one you want to take, and you got plenty of room to get out. Boom, that thing rockets off again. We run on up. You got this trend line working up. You actually get a break here. Not a very good signal bar. and you don't quite have a measured move yet. If you'd had a good setup here, maybe. But then you get into this, and you don't want to go long right into that equal distance move, because you see what would have happened to you would have got burned. And then you finally make a new high and then a lower high right here. There's actually a second entry long first on a double test. Notice you made that low. You test it once, and you got 2 legs back that test it again. So that's a second entry long. A nice signal bar. You may not could have got in that trade. You definitely would have had to use a limit order and hope it pulled back and got you. I don't know if you'd have got filled on that or not. But then it makes the lower high with a nice bearish bar. I like going short there. Then it comes down and makes another low, and then a second entry long right here. And look at that nice bullish bar on. I like going long there. This has been support here, and that's going to be a little failed break lower. You got plenty of room before you get back to the highs. Off it goes. There is a double test right here. Notice these highs. You test it once, you test it twice, but that is you can't really see my signal bar. That's a perfect doji. You don't want to use that for a signal bar right there. Too risky. So if you had a good signal bar there, you got plenty of room. I wouldn't have any problem going short. And we do make a lower low, but it bounces quickly, gets back in, and makes a higher low right here. There is enough room. I didn't mark this one, but that's really not a bad trade. This should at least been marked green. I did not mark it originally. There's just a little bit of overlap there, but it actually went lower and turned and went out the other side. You still got room to get out there. That's the key. If you put your buy stop one tick over, I think you still have enough room. You'd have to make sure there, but you may, if not, you could drop a limit order once it broke higher, a tick or so back, and you might have got filled. I don't know. But it's 2 legs up to the new high, and then it just kind of starts rambling along here. A lot of congestion right there. But notice you get a second entry long here, and then a higher low here that's back inside that little range. It is really close right here. So, but when it made that matching high right there, 3 of them, if it breaks above there, it's probably going to push higher. So the key is you got to get in this with enough room to get out. And I think if you just put a buy stop right there, you don't really have enough. You'd have to drop a limit order in there. I probably should just make that one green, because there are some stipulations on that one. Well, there he is. And then you make that little breakout pullback, higher low right there. And that's actually a reversal pattern. Look at that low. First entry short, second entry short, and it runs on up. So that is a reversal pattern. It is a breakout pullback long. So that one's close. You could almost argue for that one. And it actually broke lower first and turned and went out the other side. You know, generally when that happens in the right context, I like that kind of setup. So you could almost argue for that one to be blue. So I really had those kind of backwards there, to be honest with you. The only reason I'm going to leave that one green is because it's just right into the high of the day, and there's previous resistance there. And, you know, it is a breakout pullback long, though, and it is a reversal pattern. So you can see how it kind of pushed up real quickly. It didn't go very far, but it ran some stops right in there for sure. So anyway, that's what I saw today. A pretty good trading day. It was all uphill. You know, you didn't really have a bigger pattern trend line here, at least not a good one, in my opinion. So you might have played this one if you drew this off the top like so, and then drug it down. But you see, it's still, we don't quite get there here. You overshoot it here, so you know, you might have said, hey, okay, well here then, and that looks a little better. But it still doesn't give you any extra trades. It gave you this trade, which you already had, and then when it comes here, it just drops through, and so it just doesn't really help you. Not a lot of help there. So anyway, it was a pretty good trading day. Again, I think the easiest way to play this was playing the range and then looking for that equal distance. Of course, you definitely want to measure that first leg, and like I showed you, and have that second, you know, from right here is where we started higher, just in case we go higher, although we never could really. We got outside this resistance point for a minute, but it didn't last very long. Most of it was after 2 o'clock anyway. So anyway, that's what I saw today. Again, a pretty good trading day, relatively straightforward, as long as you saw the range and you know how to find these equal distance and so forth. If you were trying to find a bigger pattern trend line here, it probably wasn't easy. You probably struggled a little bit. So, but anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. We'll be back again to do it tomorrow. Hope you had a good trading day. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com. and we'll see you next time.